Pharaoh send that him attack, truth you know. Teach more reparation for your go. Rasta from Chicago, him light the way. Up at yourself, stay positive every day. Pharaoh said that me hear man the scream, talking about the history, what they never seen. From the land of Zion to the street when Jah spreading Jah love and giving praise to Jah. Pharaoh said that me hear on the screen, talking about the history, what they never seen. From the land of Zion to the street when Jah spreading Jah love and giving praise to Jah. Pharaoh send that him attack, truth you know. Teach more reparation for your go. Rasta from Chicago, him light the way. Up at yourself, stay positive every day. Pharaoh said that me hear man the scream, talking about the history, what they never seen. From the land of Zion to the street when Jah spreading Jah love and giving praise to Jah. Pharaoh said that me hear on the screen, talking about the history, what they never seen. From the land of Zion to the street when Jah spreading Jah love and giving praise to Jah. Pharaoh send that him attack, truth you know. Teach more reparation for your go. Rasta from Chicago, him light the way. Up at yourself, stay positive every day. Pharaoh said that me hear man the scream, talking about the history, what they never seen. From the land of Zion to the street when Jah spreading Jah love and giving praise to Jah. Pharaoh said that me hear on the screen, talking about the history, what they never seen. From the land of Zion to the street when Jah spreading Jah love and giving praise to Jah.
Rat, what's going on? Positive energy all the time. Shout out to the brethren that made that for the I-Mind. Yes, I gotta tell man, make me the long version. Hey, matter of fact, send me that hook. I'll rap on that actually. What's going on? I got another live I'm going to do, but I got something I got to get out the way first. So I'm going to do this right quick. Chicago, Illinois in the building. Greensboro, North Carolina is in the building. Miami-Dade County is in the building. Make sure you go subscribe to Pharaoh Said That Live. You don't want to miss that. Okay, I got something I got to get straight. Something came up yesterday. Naptown's in the building. Shout out to everybody out there in Indianapolis. Love it in Indianapolis. Made a lot of money out there in Naptown. Don't play with Naptown. I was out there for the Indiana Black Expo. When they sent it up downtown, they had to call police. I said, oh, it's up. I'm just sitting in my truck just looking, sitting in my truck looking at downtown and looking at basically like the riots. They started like rioting and tripping. It was interesting. They have like the Indiana Black Expo in the big arena they got there. But and then they have the concert outside somewhere. They don't have the concert, they didn't have the concert in the arena, which messed up a lot of money. They should have just had the concert somewhere in the arena, because then the vendors, everybody left at about 7:30. What an experience that was. That's when I was in the police line. Like, my booth was all the way at the end, and it was all the way police, all the way up to the Secret Service. Crazy. Yeah, they sent it up. I went there a few times. I had a reggae band I was managing, and we went to Indianapolis. Yeah, I was managing and had my little reggae booth. Good thing I had my booth, because the van broke down, and I had to give them the money to fix their van until they got back. Do they still have the Indianapolis Black Expo? That's a nice event. Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah, that's a nice event, the Indianapolis Black Expo. Yeah, that was a nice event. Shout out to all my brothers and sisters in Naptown. But Indiana, y'all know Indiana ain't no joke. See, big cities like Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, LA get all the limelight, Houston. But them cities like St. Louis, Indianapolis, New Jersey, it's up. I mean, it's all the way up. I kid you not. Oh, you still do? I gotta go check that out. I need to go out there. I need to. I need to roll back through there. I liked Indianapolis though. They was cool. I'm kind of multicultural as far as I'm anything. Basically, I guess that might be my problem. But I'm kind of like anything. I don't have a. I know some people watch me. They don't like that. They want me to be one way. But I'm kind of all over the place. My personality, my life experiences turn me into a lot of different people. So I'm strange. I could just chill. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm an introvert and I'm an extrovert. So it trips people out, especially when I start dating women. Because when I be dating women, they see I'm pretty much an introvert. And then when I go somewhere, they say, I wouldn't have never thought you was like that. Because I'm an extrovert and an introvert. I don't act like an introvert. I'm only an introvert because I be chilling. But when I go around people, I'm an extrovert. In other words, it don't bother me to go around people. So I don't chill because it bothers me to go around people. I chill because I just chill. I could have been. It's a lot of things Black Americans could have been, but we was oppressed in the system. So me born in 1958, there wasn't that type of mentality for Black Americans like you all got now. Michael, when I was born in 1958, see, I'm glad you said that, Michael, because a lot of people don't really have a good sense of our history. And so when I was born in 1958 and I started kindergarten at 5 years old, right? So that's 1963. A lot of people don't understand that there was no expectations to go to college, not just for blacks, for Americans. Facts. There was no college expectations for Americans. College wasn't nothing you even thought about unless you got to the point where you got out of high school and you might want to be a doctor or a lawyer. But other than that, nobody went to college. Don't that sound crazy? When I was coming up, when you graduated from high school, that was equal to like graduating from college. Seriously. When you graduated from high school, that was the big deal. You could get any job if you graduated from high school. Don't that sound crazy? You graduate from high school, you making money. You can make money. I graduated from high school. I'm working at a stock exchange. My girlfriend's working at Payne Weber. Seriously. All you needed was a high school, and they did on the job training. And then what you would do is you would get on the job and you would move up at the job. You didn't have to go to college and then come in a high position at a job. They didn't do that. They didn't put you in no high position. You couldn't get in a high position. You had to work your way up to that position within the company. You couldn't skip over people. You couldn't go to college and come to a company and skip over people. You couldn't do that like you can now. In those days, you started and you worked up. Some people worked up to president, vice president, senior executives. They don't have that anymore. They talking about bringing that back. They're talking about bringing that back. Back then, you go to the job, they have somebody train you what to do. Right? They have somebody train you what to do. And then when somebody train you what to do, then you move up. You know what I'm saying? If somebody train you what to do, once they train you what to do, then you would move up the ladder. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. It was great. So they didn't really college. They started pushing college around 1978. I had already graduated from high school. Around 1977, 78, that's when they start pushing college. So graduating high school was like graduating college, and graduating to sixth grade was like graduating high school today. When you used to graduate out of sixth grade, they give you these big ribbons. Everybody in the city got a ribbon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When we graduated out of sixth grade, that was a big deal. All the sixth graders in Chicago is downtown Chicago that weekend. That whole weekend is ours. Adults don't even come out. Not only that, they would open all the clubs for us early Friday, early Saturday. The clubs would have kiddie parties for sixth grade graduation. Start from like 3 to 7. At like the big clubs, like the Dating Game, the High Chaparral, where the players and them used to go. They'd have there, and they have little kiddie cocktails for us. Little juice that's in these nice glasses that look like adult glasses, but got juice in them. And you had these ribbons, and everybody signed your ribbon, and everybody be walking around with their ribbon, and we could tell what school you went to by the color of your ribbon. That was a big deal. Your mama get you a new suit, get your sister or get the girls, get brand new dresses. That was the first time you go on a date by yourself. Because we went on dates, but parents used to take you in the sixth grade graduation. You and your girlfriend, you and all your friends and all their girlfriends go downtown by yourself. You understand? Yeah. Yeah. All our friends go downtown by themselves. It's real interesting. I see your comment. Let me see. You said, I wish you was to owe you for a quick minute. There's some folks that owe me $8,000 for a job I did, but wanted to back out when the job was completed. I mean, I'm still my old self. I'm all that stuff. Then they cheat you out of $8,000 in Indianapolis. How long ago that happened? Because it might be water under the bridge now. They probably ain't even there. So yeah, it was something else. You get out in the sixth grade. Sixth grade graduation was just like getting out of high school, and high school graduation was just like getting out of college. Why you didn't just sue him, G-Rock? Sue him. If you got proof you did the work, sue him. The stuff I was doing was in the streets, and back then they not calling the police because it was all street business. But if these are citizens, they're going to call the police. I end up in jail. The work I was doing was street stuff. They can't call the police. Well, they do now. Everybody's a little woody now. Everybody's gonna. But back then, if it was in the street, what happened in the streets stayed in the streets. So I got another live I was getting ready to do, but something, I've been thinking about something and thinking about something. So I'm going to talk about that. I did have a brother coming over here trying to troll, but I don't have time today, bro. Maybe some other day. Go get another account, come back and troll. Maybe on a day I'll play with you for a little while. Well, not really. He was trolling about the streets. And, if you want to troll about the streets, you got to do that. You can't do that on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to talk to me about the streets, you got to do that. You got to do that in person. You can't get on the internet with no street beefs. You might as well go turn yourself into the police yourself. So, I'm not trying to be nobody saying, I thought you was in the street, da, 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 da. Brother, I just delete your comments if you're still watching me. But if you want to do that kind of stuff, you gotta come outside, bro. You can't be on the internet like that with no fake names trying to fake beef, with a fake name. So, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Maybe I'll let 100 people get over here before I start this because I want everybody to hear this one time. I don't really internet beef, and that's interesting because that's what this is about. I don't internet beef. I don't internet beef. Thanks, Kat. I don't internet beef. I just say what I'm gonna say, and then I move on. I don't find internet beef interesting because how you gonna beef with a something you don't know who that is? And in a case where I do know what they are, for young people watching me, I don't want my name associated with nobody. So that's why I don't be beefing, because I'm in the music business, and beefing in the music business takes away your individuality. And that's how you lose your individuality in the music business, by beefing. Now, what I mean by that, every time you say Tupac, now they say Biggie. Every time you say Biggie, they say Tupac. See, they both lost a little bit of themselves because now you attached to the person you beefing with. You understand? So it's like I don't want to be attached. See, my name's not attached to nobody. You see all these beefs they had back in Sinetta, and them had all them beefs. You see all them different brothers got pulled into them beefs. It damaged their reputation. Their reputation went down some. For sure. Like the Moorish brother was beefing with Sinetta. Then he beefed with Tyreek and got punched. See what I'm saying? And you don't want to be attached to that. I don't have no beef attached to my name. There is no, I don't have a Dr. Marcetti or none of those. You can't name nobody to put me with. All you can say is Pharaoh. You can't attach me to nobody. They tried to catch me up on that when I went on Sinetta, but I said something a little bit kind of. Yeah, I kind of said something that, you know, I kind of went 0 to 100. I went to 100. They was trying to be at 0, 3, 4, 5. I said, bam, you know, this is where this gonna go. And then it got quiet. I'm not doing all this. What we gonna do? Let's do what we really supposed to do. Why would we gotta go back and forth and do where it's gonna end up at? You know what I'm saying? Let's just go where it's gonna end up at. Why are we going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 when we know where this is going? I didn't give a damn because I was just there to talk. I don't care nothing about no chat. I didn't like them trying to pull me into the foolishness they was in. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I don't be wanting nobody to pull me. I don't do all that because, you know, I'm kind of like I don't really tell my outside life on the internet, but I'm kind of like a community activist. I'm attached to people that's attached to things. And some of the brothers I be around, they in the streets trying to stop the beef. You know what I'm saying? I be around little shorties in and out of prison a lot. This is Chicago. So I'm around a lot of shorties. And, you know, I got to be telling them constantly stop beefing. So what they gonna think if they see me beefing? See what I'm saying? Fake beefing too. Because Chicago beefing ain't like that beefing. That's not even beef to me. I live where beef is really beef. Like it's real, it's beef. Here where I live at, no, this ain't beef. They beefing like this. They typing on the internet. When we see you, it's up. And it's really that. Like it's not, we don't do Chicago don't do verbal beef. Chicago, we don't do verbal beef. If you're in Chicago and you're at an event and you hear somebody get loud, run. 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 If you hear somebody say, what? Run. If you hear a voice get raised, run. Because they're not finna raise voices long. They're not finna do that. Okay? I'm just telling you, where I live at, loud voices, it's just one time. That's it. Then it's all the way up. They don't beef. We don't beef here like that. We don't do that. That's why I be getting so irritated when people come in the chat try to beef with me, because my nature is to do something. And I can't because you're on the internet. So I get frustrated. Because you're on the internet. And that never happens outside. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing outside like that because they already know what's up in this city. Everybody know what's up. You don't be saying nothing to nobody unless you're ready to crash out. You ready to crash out? You ready to get tricked off the streets? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to get tricked off the streets out here. You know what I'm saying? So the internet, I got to adjust to the internet, all that playing. I ain't been on the internet like a lot of people been on the internet when they was younger. I didn't get on the internet till I was in my 50s. So I'm already set in my ways outside. So it's taking me longer to adjust to the internet. Whereas if I would have got on the internet in my 20s or something, I would have been adjusted already. By the time I got on the internet, I was already, you know what I'm saying? By the time I got on the internet, and you talk crazy, I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? My kids talking about, Daddy, you know, you got to cool out. So I said, oh yeah, this the internet. It's going to take me a long time to adjust. I probably ain't going to never adjust. Because I come from a generation of dignity and respect. You either gonna fight or you gonna chill. When I was a little boy, we didn't do all that. What you finna do? What we gonna do? Box or boogaloo? That's where I come from. I come from that right into worse. What you think it was like here in the 80s? You think you could have beefed with somebody in Chicago in the 80s? 90s? 2000? You think when I lived in O-Block you could go out there beefing? See, you can have an argument. You can't have no argument out there. You can't have no argument out there. I wasn't trying to smoke them. I was just trying to make sure they didn't play with me. And I was irritated and ready to go. That's why when Sonetta came to Chicago, kept calling me, I didn't meet with her because I was ready to go. I felt like they ain't had no dignity. And they was using black consciousness, but they wasn't repping black conscious brothers. Black conscious brothers don't be beefing. I ain't never seen no conscious brothers beefing before. And I'm two different people. I'm black conscious and I'm street. So when you got me over here on this side, but you acting like this side, you come to get confused with me. Because you ain't about this life over here. So why is you playing over here when you over there? Stay over there. You're not over here. You're not over here. So then they want to be over here and they want to play over here. And then when I go over there, they want to turn back conscious. When I start talking to Woo Bam to the school bam, and I start really talking about what's really popping, and then they say I'm going too far. Like, what? Okay. What side we on? Stay over here then. Don't go over here. So that's why I don't do interviews no more like that. Because I don't be wanting to play with no brothers on this internet. Not like that. Where I come from, everybody I be on the internet, I want to meet them. I want to be a positive meeting. I don't want to be meeting nobody on no enemy and then, trick myself off the streets because I done got locked in with somebody on the internet. And that really goes along with this conversation. I don't do interviews with other channels because they don't be knowing how to do interviews. So that's why I don't do interviews. My interviews, I do excellent interviews. If I say I'm going to interview you, I never challenge the person I'm interviewing. I don't turn it into a debate. I don't challenge anything you said. Go watch all my interviews. Go watch the interviews I had over here. Go watch Elder's Observation. Go watch all my interviews. I got the interviews with all the Rastas. Watch my interviews. You don't see me challenge them over nothing they say. It's an interview. They don't know how to do interviews like that. So that's why I don't do them. Is this an interview or is this a contest? Go to my playlist, Roaring Lions. Y'all know about Roaring Lions. Go to Roaring Lions. This one right here. So, brothers would set me up for interviews and get me over there, and then it'd be a debate. You ain't get me for an interview, ask me a question. What you think about this? I think this and that. Well, couldn't it be this and that? Oh, this ain't no interview. All right. I thought this was an interview. So brothers will use you for an interview to get their point of views out. They'll get you over there and have you to bounce off of what you say. They'll interview you not liking what you've been saying to have the opportunity to challenge what you've been saying under the disguise of an interview. That's what they be doing. And then I'm over here. I'm over here on this conscious royal conversation side. Now I see you on some slick stuff. So now I'm going to go over here. And then when I go over here, now I look bad. I'm going to start calling you out your name, start disrespecting your mother, all that. With no hold bars. I'm going to start going ugly, dirty with it. So ain't no need, okay? Then you ain't, when I interview brothers, I don't got no point of view. When'd you start? Where'd you go? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? How was that? What was this? What was that? Thank you for the interview. I don't got no point of view on nobody interview. I don't got a point of view on your interview. I'm not saying nothing. I'm asking questions. If anything, I'm trying to get you to explain more what you think, what you believe. I'm interviewing you. I'm not, what I think don't matter. But brothers want to get me over there, ask me a question, try to respond. All right, I gotta go. Cause you ain't nothing. You a loser. You're not no professional. You're not a professional interviewer. You're a buster. And I don't got time for it. Because I don't be arguing with people. So don't invite me to no argument. I got PTSD, I don't argue. I got PTSD. The only person can get around me and be arguing and stuff like that is my queen. And any queen to tell you, they get to say everything. I don't argue with no queen. I don't be arguing with no queen. I'll be like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Well, I look like arguing with a lady. What I'm getting, how much I get paid if I'm right. You know what I'm saying? A real, I want to get paid. If I could get paid, if I could be right and get paid, it'll happen. So that segs way into this. What is this about? I got to get some clarification. And I don't do this too much, but I'm going to do it. Yesterday, somebody came into one of my lives and say, and that video disappeared. I think I deleted it by mistake or something. I don't know what happened. It just disappeared, but it's on Patreon. So you need to go to Patreon, pay that $20 a month. And that's where all the uncut stuff is at. Because when I wild out, I chop it off. I take the wild parts off. I take all our extended conversations off. I post the whole thing on Patreon. And I only put on up here now the part where we stay on subject. So you got to go to Patreon to see, you know what I'm saying? So yesterday, somebody came into my chat saying, you remind me of this brother. You and this brother got the same points. So they're like, you remind me of this brother named Johnson. I think he said Kareem Johnson. Kareem Johnson. You and him say the same. I don't know who we talking about at the time. Right off, I wowed out. Because ain't nobody like me, bro. And stop. Okay? I don't remind you of nobody. I remind you of me. So I don't know why you coming over here trying to say me and the brothers the same. I jumped all out the window, say his name Johnson. How could I remind you of him? How we saying the same thing when I done how many videos about getting rid of your slave name since I've been on YouTube. I must have did 30 videos, maybe even, and mentioned it in 50 videos to get rid of your slave name. So how I'm like a Johnson. So I ain't like that. So I start saying, dude ain't nothing like me. I don't know who they talking about. I don't know what he talking about. But I ain't appreciate him trying to compare me to somebody. So last night, sometime I'll be reflecting, and that name sound familiar. I'm like, Kareem Johnson. Kareem Johnson. Why that name sticking in my head? So let me see who this is. I go to YouTube. Bam. Oh, this the brother. Okay, this the brother that was with Doggy Diamonds. When I jumped out the window on Doggy Diamonds, because Doggy Diamonds called Jay-Z head, said he had a mop on his head. Right? See, I was serious. You know, when I do see Kareem, we're going to talk about that, right? Him listening to Doggy Diamonds. I never, Doggy, I don't really like Doggy Diamonds because he gossip like a girl. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really like Doggy Diamonds, because, over here, what we do to doggies. I'm a lion. You know what I'm saying? There's lions over here. You know what I'm saying? Even my Rottweilers, I didn't call my Rottweilers doggy. A doggy is like you know what I'm saying? A doggy is like a poodle or something. You're a grown man, call yourself a little doggy. You know what I'm saying? You must try and get 8 over here. Stay in a little doggy place. Like somebody put a leash on this doggy. Somebody go walk the doggy, so you don't pee in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Remember? Like that. Somebody walk the doggy. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about why I don't like dude. I'll never like dude. You know what I'm saying? So, why he didn't do nothing? Why he didn't do nothing to Wack? When Wack called him all out his name, told him to do all that, why he tuck his tail on why he tuck his tail? Over there on the phone thing. Come on, man. I don't link in. So I cut them dudes. I don't link up with that. I ain't beef with them. I just said what I wanted to say. And we're going to talk about why I said that. We're going to get to that later. Because that's not what this is about. But because he said Jay-Z got a mop on his head and Kareem was there with him, of course, the next day, I threw them both in the garbage. So then they start coming into my chat. Okay? Yeah, I don't do gossip, be dolo. So then they want to come into my chat. So when they came into my chat, I just blocked them. See what I'm saying? Because I'm not doing that. I'm not attaching my name to them. I said what I said. I'm standing on what I said. When they came into the chat trying to get me to do the internet weirdo stuff, I blocked them. So when I went and looked and seen that Kareem was this dude, I was like, oh, now I ain't nothing like the dude because he came into the chat. He been in the prison and stuff. So when he came into the chat, it was a little rough the way I was dealing with him. I was dealing with him. Yeah, I was dealing with him a little, you know what I'm saying? I can't say what I was on, but I was really on something else with him. He was on some internet conversation. I was on some, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't on no internet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't on no internet. I wasn't on no internet with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, penitentiary guy. We'll handle that. You know what I'm saying? We get off the internet. I see you when I see you. Be on penitentiary time when I see you. That's what I was on. You know what I'm saying? It's up. And when it's up, it's just up until it fall back down. And where I come from here in Iraq, we ain't going to keep telling you it's up. It's just up there. It's going to be up there. And then when I see you, it's going to be up there. It ain't going to be like it came down. It's going to be up. Okay? Period. But I wanted to talk about this because it ain't up with Kareem. I let that go with him because he was on Doggy's show. So he really wasn't the hater like Doggy. All he do is gossip. All he do is got Jay-Z name in his mouth. All he do is complain about rappers because he failed as a producer and stuff, and he ain't in the game. His whole platform is a disgruntled hip-hop punk. You know what I'm saying? On the internet, whining and crying and feminizing the black man. I don't like them YouTube content creators that be feminizing black people with all that gossip. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't got nothing to talk about. So you got everybody name in your mouth. But let's get the facts straight. That ain't what pissed me off. What pissed me off is he said Jay-Z need to take that mop off his head. And when he said Jay-Z took that mop off his head, that triggered me because when we start growing our dreadlocks, that's what they used to keep telling us. But Doggy Diamond's a little boy. He don't know no culture. He don't know no roots in no culture. Because what kind of black man gonna call dreadlocks a mop? But then pretend you want reggae, you want rap to be positive, but you negative. You negative. You disrespecting the elders. You disrespecting. You disrespecting, they ain't trying to be cute. Shout out to my brethren OG, King OG. So now when he said that, it went further than that. This is something Rastas like me, this is something we dealt with in real life. When he was a little boy, when he was a little baby, when he was a little boy, this is something we really dealt with. So when he called the brother's head a mop, he disrespected black culture. That's what he did. He disrespected the black people that was standing on original black culture, that wasn't standing on perms, wasn't standing on Jerry curls, wasn't standing on the barbershop like him. Wasn't trying to be brothers that cut their hair, start going bald and not want to grow hair. I thought you didn't want no hair. But now you're going bald, now you want some hair. But when you had hair, you're cutting it. You understand? How often should you feed your dog? I don't know. Ask her. She birthed you. Your dog birthed you. Go ask her. Fuck you asking me for? She birthed you. Go ask her how much you should feed her. So that's what my issue was. That he a little boy, you need to stay in a little boy place. Right here, I'm 21. How old was he? How old was Doggy Diamonds? When I was this age with my dreadlocks and all the hate and all the disrespect I took with these dreadlocks. You know how many people got dealt with for playing with me with these dreadlocks? You know I would have did to Doggy Diamonds outside if he would have said something like that to me. You know I would have did to him? Do you know what I would have did to him if he would have disrespected me outside? Do you know how many fights I was in? You know how many fights I was in Chicago going back and forth to work? Where people don't want to treat you like no human, and you're a human being just like everybody else. And they feel like because you got dreadlocks, they could just say anything to you. Like you ain't a man like they a man. So I don't like Doggy Diamonds. He don't represent no black culture. What he's saying? He's saying all these brethren got mops on their head, strong lion, Rasta man them in New York where Rasta was strong. I mean, you can make jokes, but you can't say it when no Rasta hear it. Don't nobody never say it around I&IG, right? Don't nobody never say it around us. You ain't gonna say no lot jokes around me or around no other Rasta I know. Doggy Dimes ain't gonna say nothing around no Rastas. Not a word, not a peep out his mouth. He ain't gonna say nothing. You think he'll say something crazy to King OG? Ain't nobody gonna do that. Because they get on the internet and get all outside their body. See, these brothers don't, my point is Doggy Dimes ain't got no culture. Because no matter how mad he was at Jay-Z, he would have respected black culture. He would have respected brethren in Jamaica, brethren in Trinidad, brethren in South Africa. You got 1 million Rastas in South Africa. Then you got tribes in Africa that grow their dreads naturally. Then you got Hebrew Israelite brothers, got dreadlocks. Yeah. You got people in India, Swamis, that got dreadlocks all over India, the holy men. The holy men in India got dreadlocks. So how is you on here talking? You don't got no culture. You don't know nothing about culture. This was a good thing when Jay-Z came out with his hair like that. It was a positive thing for black people. This was positive. This was positive when he came out with his hair like that. This was a good look for hip hop. For sure. This was a good look for hip hop. But now, brothers got shoe polish on their head. What y'all got to say about brothers with Beijing on their head, shoe polish on their head? What y'all got to say about that? What y'all got to say about black women with eyelashes glued on their face? What Doggy Diamond saying about that? He want everybody to have their hair looking like a peach like him. But the point is, this brother was with Doggy Diamonds. He wanted to side with it because I was dissing them. Hey, I had enough for both of them when I synced them, okay? So they both could have got it. But I'm going to give this brother a pass and let it go with him. He ain't on the hook no more because he ain't even with Doggy Diamond no more. And really, Doggy Diamonds was the one said it and really put this man in a bad situation. So I ain't really tripping with Kareem like that no more. He probably didn't know it was still up. That's why I be saying stop playing. Because he probably didn't know it was still up. It was all the way up when I synced him. And wasn't going to be no whole lot of talking. It's going to be two things. It's too hot. It's too many police. I ain't going to say nothing. Or it's wide open. Because I don't want to do no jaw jacking. I just want to hear an apology. And check yourself or you wreck yourself. Because like I said, this is something people used to play with us. Many days I got to work. I worked down there. I worked down at the Treasury Department. And many days I get on the roads and bus. By the time I get to work, a button tore off my shirt while I've been fighting on the roads and bus. While I get on there, don't nobody know what dreadlocks is. as a foundational Black America, I'm the king of dreadlocks for foundational Black America. I'm the one who went through the fire. Facts. I should be saluted. A foundational Black America. I'm damn near number one when it comes to dreadlocks. Walking the streets of Chicago, New York, LA. There wasn't many of us. It was so few of us that if I came to your city, they would take me to the other 2 or 3 brothers with dreadlocks. That's how few it was. And it was a lot of smoke over that. Okay, it was a lot of smoke. You understand? Because the Jamaican brothers were from Jamaica. So they was in Chicago. They just put hats on and played it off. But I was from outside already. I went from tailor-made suits and jerry curls to dreadlocks. So my dreadlocks changed before I changed. My dreadlocks was positive, but I was still on dummy. I'm on YouTube, so I can't tell you the incidents. But things happen, especially when I got stabbed and I became a gangster with dreadlocks. And I'm a gangster. And I'm in the store trying to buy some clothes and you come in there telling jokes. Guess what used to happen? Bad things happened. Bad things happened to some brothers out here playing with me. Bad things happen. Bad things happen. Because there was a big difference between 1977 and 78. In the 90s. So you make a mistake and say what you said to this Pharaoh, it's going to be a fight. But you make a mistake and say something to this Pharaoh. Okay? Guess what's going to happen to you? This ain't the same Pharaoh. Okay, that's what my book, I'm trying to tell y'all. This Pharaoh is the angelic Pharaoh. This Pharaoh is the monster. Don't say nothing to him. Don't say nothing to nobody in this picture with me. Okay? We are the most dangerous people outside. Everybody know that. The gangs know it. Everybody know. Everybody know. Everybody know. What you think this Pharaoh would do to Doggy Diamonds? Talking about a mop on the head. He would have got mopped. He would have got, I can't even say, that's why I be getting in trouble, because I be trying to tell y'all the truth, but YouTube don't want me to tell you the truth, because they say I'm promoting it. I ain't promoting no violence or none of that. I'm just telling you the historical facts. We wasn't doing no boxing. We wasn't doing no boxing. Do we look like we fight? Bro in the middle from the low end, from the projects. Bro on the other side, he from the south, he from Riverdale. We ain't, like, it ain't sweet, like what? Not to mention all the Jamaicans in there with us. Y'all think the Jamaicans in there, the dreadlocks in there with Jamaicans in there with something to play with? No. No, no. You know, you had the bad boy Jamaicans that got their hair cut and all that. Bad boy Jamaicans didn't play with Rasta. Not these type of Rastas. The bad boy Jamaican them, when they see I know respect, yes, Rasta, you know, yeah, respect. I bears respect. I bet it is. You know what I'm saying? I bet it is respect, Badger. You know what it is. You know, I'm just telling y'all, I'm giving y'all the real history. I'm giving y'all the real history. Now, this Pharaoh that y'all looking at now, you know, I'm trying to be him. And every time they pull me back in. You understand? Bad, listen, Doggy Diamonds would never say nothing else about our hair in his life. Or he would have been kibbles and bits. See, a little doggy got to stay in a doggy place and go eat your little dog food and go and take your little nap and drink out your dog bowl and all that. Don't be playing with no lions. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with the lion. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with the lion. This is for Doggy Diamonds. Stop playing with the lion. Because you trying to be cute. You got feelings. And you trying to be cute. You got to go get a haircut because you want to look like Babylon, tell you what to look and tell you what to do and tell you to roll over and flip over. You want to be a good boy. But we the radicals. We ain't cutting no hair for no woman or nobody. We ain't doing none of that. How many times people came over here talking about I should shave my beard and put a razor to my face and I'm a Nazarite. And because you a sucker and because you a slave, you want me to look like a slave. You want to tell me I need to put a razor to my face. And I'm like, bro, if you don't leave me alone, put a razor to something, but it ain't going to be my face. Mind your business. Why you ain't just happy with how you living? What's up with the black man where he worried about another man? What the kind of stuff is that? If a brother got his Islamic garb on, that ain't none of my business. That's not none of my business to go say nothing to the brother. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't about Doggy Diamonds, right? This is about letting the brother know his name came up. I found he was, and I thought about it. I said, okay, I need to leave a brother alone. I'm cool with the brother Kareem Johnson. I'm cool with him. He ain't got no more smoke coming like that. He probably didn't even know it was still smoke. But I had to get this off my chest when I said, so this was the brother. I'm like, Doggy Diamonds probably did him dirty too. And see, Doggy Diamonds said that he was just riding with his boy. I respect that. He never said that. But he was riding with Doggy Diamonds. Because I know this brother got more roots and culture than that. He was locked up, and I know it was Dreadlocks locked up with him. In some prisons, they would cut Dreadlocks' heads off. You know what I'm saying? They would cut Dreadlocks' hair off. So the brother Kareem, he cool. But I was still right. They was totally wrong to say me and him is some alike. How I'm some like somebody that I was going to do dirty when I seen him. How we alike. I was going to do him dirty. I just didn't tell y'all because, hey, gangsters move in silence. You know what I'm saying? So I needed to come over here and just, get some things straight in my mind and just put it out there. The brother probably ain't never been thinking about it no more, but let that be a lesson to him too. Stay out of certain beefs and stuff like that because you'll think stuff is sweet, but it's not. When it comes to dreadlocks and stuff like that and this Rasta culture, this dreadlock culture, man, stay out of that. Because we're not here for play, We're not here to play. You're going to respect us. You know what I'm saying? And when you disrespect anybody with dreadlocks, you just disrespect everybody with dreadlocks. You're going to call this man, say, take the rug off his head. Well, if that's a rug, what is this? You're going to disrespect this man? Then this man represent the ancients. He represent ancients. He represent back before the Metal Age, before we had scissors and combs and razors, way back to the Stone Age. These men represent the first man, the beginning of time, when you didn't have no clothes yet. And if you didn't have this hair hanging down your back and it rained, you'd be cold. But if you had that hair hanging down your back, it'll catch that cold water from off the small of your back. This was your protection. Your hair protected you from the elements. But now y'all are Babylon. You ain't out in the elements no more. You done build homes and you done built all this junk on the earth. So you ain't out in the natural world no more. Original man didn't have no clippers. Original man didn't have no razor, didn't have no comb. Original man. Original man didn't have nothing to do. This is how it was. This is not a rug. So this a rug on this lion? Lion's hair grow. He just got a different texture's hair. He don't cut it. He don't cut it. You don't be disrespecting these brethren. These brethren represent roots and culture, something that our children need to see. Look, this is how our hair really grow if we leave it alone. This is real history. Whether you want to grow it like that or not, it's good to know that this is how our hair grow naturally. This is how we are in our natural state. How's that a bad thing? Make it make some sense. How's that a joke? How is this better than this? These haircuts and stuff represent that we fail. We don't got no control of ourselves. We got to go to work every day. We got to pay another man to live. When the earth is the Lord's and the fullness of the earth been here. How somebody charging me to live on the earth? How somebody charging me for fruit? Fruit been here. So a man went and took the fruit, took it and said, this is my land, put a fence up, planted the fruit over there, and went and killed all the other fruit over here. So now we got to go pay him for the fruit that used to grow wild. We got to pay him for the house that you can build from these trees behind this brother, where you can build your own house. He telling you that he owns parts of the earth and you going for it? A man tell you he own a part of the earth. The earth been here how long? How do a man own land? That's why the Africans don't let you buy land. They say you can lease it, but you can't own no land. You can live on it. Your family can live on it. But if you got one son and he passed away and he ain't got no children, that earth go back to the earth. You don't own it. Somebody else can live there. You can't pick nobody else to come live there. How you gonna own the earth? And disrespect these men that live a natural life and just growing their natural hair and minding their natural business. And then you're going to see Jay-Z bring some roots and culture into hip-hop. And then what's funny is the first thing they say is, man, get rid of these gangbangers. Man, get rid of these gangbangers and all that. And now the gangbangers got dreadlocks. Yeah, because you didn't respect it on the righteous side. So now it's on the wicked side. Now you complaining. Now you complaining Because now dreadlocks is savages. But when it was righteous, you ain't respected. So now you got somebody like Doggy Diamond going to disrespect Jay-Z. Right? Watch this. Watch this. He'll get on the thing and he'll say, Jay-Z got a mop on his head, right? Let me show you how phony people is. I was talking about this on some shorty. They say, you right, OG. I be outside. I had this conversation with some shorties outside. And I told them what they said about Jay-Z. I told them what Doggy Diamond said about Jay-Z. He said Jay-Z got a mop on his head. So I asked shorty in there. I said, what would happen if Jay-Z said you had a mop on your head? They're like, you already know, bro. That's what they said. Because guess what? He ain't gonna say nothing. Doggy Diamond's punk ass ain't gonna say nothing about shorty now. I bet you ain't gonna get out here calling no drill rappers name and let the word get out there he disrespect they have. I bet you that. I bet you that. He gonna pick a soft target like Jay-Z. Say something about dude. Say dude got a mop on his head and let him find out. They in New York. Go out there with them savages in New York with the dreadlocks, Doggy Diamond, and tell them they got mops on their head. Leave Jay-Z alone. You don't like the hair. Go outside. Once again, here we go hating on the positive. Jay-Z ain't bothering him. Jay-Z out there getting his money. That's why I don't be dissing Jay-Z. Because Jay-Z out there getting his money. You're not going to see Pharaoh trying to find something constantly wrong with Jay-Z. Jay-Z is a married man with some children, been rapping a long time, trying to get some money. I ain't got nothing to say bad about no Jay-Z. Ain't none of my business. Whatever he doing, he a grown man. I'm not trying to go out my way to be dogging no brothers out here that's trying to make a way and make a living. And being a hypocrite, because Jay-Z ain't getting in no trouble. Jay-Z ain't doing no drilling. Jay-Z ain't doing no drive-bys. Jay-Z not going to jail every week. Then you turn around and say, you sick of the shorties going to jail. You want to disrespect Jay-Z. Then you want to turn around and disrespect and say the other side too. That's why I don't do that kind of stuff. Because how I'm going to disrespect the side going crazy. Then they see me disrespect the side that ain't doing nothing wrong. The shorty's going to think I'm crazy. They don't think you crazy. Because you're getting out here, you're telling the shorty to put the guns down. You're telling the shorty stop killing each other. You're telling the shorty stop wilding out. You're telling the shorty leave all these pills and all this stuff alone. Jay-Z ain't doing none of that. Then you turn around the next day, you're disrespecting a man that's a family man, that ain't on drugs, that ain't doing pills, that ain't on the block doing all that. Then you're disrespecting him too. So at what point, so somebody like Doggy Dimes is a clown. Doggy Diamond is a clown because you want to disrespect both sides. You want to disrespect the person that's not getting in trouble, is respectful, is doing something for itself, and you want to disrespect the whole opposite of him. When the reality is Jay-Z did more for hip-hop, Doggy Diamond ain't done nothing for hip-hop. Because he started with M-Rec, and M-Rec is today doing a better job than Doggy Diamond. I watch M-Rec. Doggy Diamond is a gossiper. He's a gossiper. They need to keep his weight down and keep working to get his weight down and go plant-based and get himself together. And stop being over there gossiping like a little girl. Because he ain't doing nothing. He ain't helping hip-hop by making people want to pop him. How's he helping hip-hop when he making people want to do him? He increased the violence. But that ain't who we talking about. I'm talking about the brother that I felt like I need to come and just put it out there, because I never put it back out there, and I want to put it back out there that, I ain't got no beef with the brother no more. He not me though. Don't be talking about I'm not nobody, not me. And y'all ain't nobody. So don't be comparing nobody to nobody. We all individuals. So he ain't nothing like me. On top of that, I don't know. Don't be talking about somebody be saying stuff I'm saying, because you know what that could be. I ain't going to accuse him of that. But I did see him with the little military green stuff on when I went to his page. And he did, I ain't trying to say, I ain't trying to say nothing. And somebody talk about he sound like me. When I went to his page, I was like, he looked like I don't know, it might just be me. It looked like he watching me. I bet he do sound like me, but I ain't going to beef with him over that. Do what you do. But I'm just saying, don't be telling me somebody saying the same talking points and don't take into consideration that they might be listening to me. You ever took that in consideration? Because I ain't got nobody talking points. Period. I'm doing me. That's why my channel ain't blowing up like everybody else's channel, because I'm not doing what they doing. I'm doing my own unique content. What I want to do. I'm not doing what the algorithm want me to do. I'm not doing what the gossip column want me to do. I'm not doing 1,000 videos about Diddy. Man, he ain't nothing like me. He's a Johnson. Like I keep telling you, we ain't both nothing. We not nothing. He not nothing like me. We ain't got nothing in common. Nothing. He been to the military. I ain't been to the military. He been to prison. I ain't been to prison. He a bald head getting a haircut. I've been had my dreadlocks for 48 years. He probably a meat eater, a fish eater. I've been plant-based for 48 years. He ain't nothing like me. He got a slave name. I got rid of my slave name when I was 22 years old. We ain't got shit in common. Don't be trying to compare nobody to me, nothing. I'm me. I'm Big Pharaoh. I'm Pharaoh El-Aton. Me and him ain't got nothing in common. Nothing. Nah, I'm not doing nothing like Sarah Soon Seti is somebody I respect. Me and Seti ain't nothing alike. Seti is Seti. Seti is his own man in his own right, in his own world. He his own general, General Sarah Soon Seti. It ain't no other one but him. Ain't nobody like him. None of that. He his own. We soldiers. We individuals. I ain't finna accept no. First off, you don't say I'm like nobody with a slave name. Nobody to eat meat. Now, maybe you could say it because you're not me. So, yeah, you willing to accept that somebody like me. But you got to look from my point of view. I've been plant-based now, going on 50 years. So if you ain't at least doing that, you ain't nothing like me. Nothing. So don't try to overlook me. Because the number one thing about me is my dreads, and I'm plant-based, not my militancy. My militancy is part of my militancy is not cutting my hair. Not cutting my hair is the most militant thing I've done. So he's not militant like me. He went to the military and did what they told him to do. He a boy. He took orders. I ain't never took orders. Now, you in the military, you're not black militant. That's not black militancy joining the white man army. What is we doing? Y'all believe joining the white man's army is militant? Is black militant? Did Muhammad Ali go to Vietnam? Joining the white man's army is not black militancy. Stop. Okay? That's not, no, he not me. Even in the streets, he not me. Did I go to prison? No, I beat all my cases. Did he move as much on the streets as me? No. Pick something I did. It'll dwarf him. When I was in the streets doing illegal activities, y'all think he was on my level in any kind of way? No, he was a low-level dude that got caught early and went to jail. He not even me on the streets at black consciousness or nothing. He him. He a late bloomer, actually. He late. He late. I was ahead of him back then. Y'all tripping. He couldn't even fuck with dude right here. On my soul, Kareem could not fuck with this one. That's a fact. He not even nothing like this one. He not even nothing like this me. That's a fact. He ain't nothing like him. I know he ain't like me at no 67. Get out of here. I'm 67 years old. He a little boy. He ain't nothing like me. Let that man be him. Stop putting people on me. I'm just saying, I don't like nobody matching me with people because they trying to pick what to match me with, and I'm not going to respect what you're using to compare us. I'm plant-based. So we got to start right there. So I don't know how you jumping over that. I don't know how you jumping over the strength it takes to not eat meat for 48 years. Why y'all jumping over that part? He can't do that. He ain't did that. So it's like, don't try to pick around me and try to find one thing and say, no, we alike. We ain't none alike. That was an insult. People insulted me. I was insulted. I really was. You're going to pick a little boy like that and say he like me. At my age, I'm finna be 70. And you tell me what? Based on what? He grew weed in Hawaii in the mountains? What's his resume? You know what I'm saying? I ain't ate meat in almost 50 years. 2 more years will be 50 years. Okay? In 2028, it'll be 50 years since I ate meat. It'll be 50 years. In a couple more months, it'll be 48 years. First of the year is 48 years. 2 more years is 50 years. He barely 50. I ain't been eating meat his whole life. So that's why I'm like, I don't like that. Don't expect me to respect no comparisons. That's like trying to compare me to Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi way ahead of me with certain things. He ain't no militant and stuff like me, but when it comes to the alkaline and all that, and Sebi was older than me, so you can't compare me to no Sebi. You can't compare us like that. Stop with that. Everybody is their own in their own thing. You know what I mean? You can't do that. I can't compare myself. I got OGs and I can't compare myself to them. I ain't no comparison. How I'm gonna be comparison to my teacher? You know, we unique. All of us is unique. You know what I'm saying? I could eat meat, Michael, but what I would have to do, I would have to just eat a little bitty piece. I could eat it. I just couldn't. I couldn't like if I couldn't like if I got some. If I was starving and I had to eat some meat, and I caught a chicken and I cooked it, I would have to just take a little bitty piece off a drumstick, a little piece, and just eat it. And I'd have to wait and then eat a little piece and then a little piece and let my body acclimate. If I caught a fish, I'd have to eat just a little piece so my body could acclimate. I can't just eat the whole fish. I might get sick. But I can eat a little piece, it won't do nothing to me. And then another little piece, and then another little piece. And after about a week or so, I'll be able to eat it. I gotta let my body acclimate. It won't do nothing to me. Your body's strong. Your body's strong. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I could eat it, but I just can't eat it at one time. It ain't my body, it'd be my stomach won't know what I'm doing. It could send me in the shop. I don't know, I wouldn't take the chance. But when I went to the county jail, I ate everything except meat. I was fine. Matter of fact, I came out big and strong because I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't have no sex. All that zinc is staying in there, and I got to do. I'm doing exercise all day because we bored. We in there doing exercise all day. You go to bed at night. You take out a deck of cards, turn over 10. You do 10. He turn over 9. You do 9. Turn over ace. You do 10. He turn it over 7. He do 7. You turn over 3. You do 3. We do that until the whole deck of cards is gone. So if you brothers, if you want to do a good trick to get in shape, and another brother come by the crib, get a deck of cards, and when you turn them over, all face cards is 10. And the other ones, however many you do, and you go one at a time, turn over, do whatever it say. You turn over and say 4, you give them 4. He turn his over as 2, give them 2. You turn his over as a jack, give them 10. He turns over as a 9, give them 9. And we used to do that to the card deck gone. You don't get tired like that because sometimes you're just doing 2. You might do 2. Next time you might do 4. Next time you might do 3. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, the card deck gone, and you done did a whole card deck. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to come over because, I got PTSD. I was really outside like that. And I just wanted to put it out there. The brother cool. He ain't in no bad favor with me or nothing like that. I let it go. He good. You know what I'm saying? I should have been did it when I seen he wasn't around Doggy Diamonds. He should have never been around Doggy Diamonds. Doggy Diamonds wasn't really showing him no love or wasn't going to help him get his own show and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? This man was riding. When I went off, this man was ready to ride. But Doggy ain't set this man up no platform like him. Ain't had him get no setup like him or nothing. He was just using the brother. So I'm cool with the brother, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know who people said. They say, you like this brother. And I'm like, no, I felt insulted. Like I ain't with nobody. And I kept thinking, who they saying I'm like? And I said, oh, I think I know that name. I looked it up and said, oh, this the brother. How I'm like him when I was going to pop him. But if you say something, I was going to pop dude. But whatever. I guess. I'm like him. I don't know how I'm like him when I was finna do him dirty if I bumped into him, but whatever. Because he came in my life. I was like, man, let's just holler when we see each other. Block. Then Doggy Diamonds cast the same for you. We're not doing all that, Playboy. Now, we're not doing this. I mean, I wouldn't tell you not to watch nobody. I believe you should watch who you want to watch. Me, it was personal because the man said the dreadlocks was a mop on the man's head. I felt like that was a disrespect to all the black culture. So I wasn't just being petty. I felt like it was disrespect to the black culture when he called the dreadlocks a mop. Like this is something we really went through. This is something that a lot of rosters we really went through that people really did try to say we had a mop on our head. It was a lot of action over that. Okay. And these my brethren. You understand? So like some things you got to be careful what you're saying. Because these my brethren he talking about. You know what I'm saying? When you say they got a mop on their head, you know, you bring up a lot of, you know, he bring up a lot of, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not feeling that. You know what I mean? You disrespecting my whole culture, all my brethren. You disrespecting all of us. Rest in peace to D Brown. Like, bro, what you calling dreadlocks a mop? You understand? Like, do you know what you saying? Like, bro, you disrespecting. You disrespecting. Because these brethren would have seen Jay-Z and they would have been like, yes, I am Bongo Congo, man. They would have loved it. Shout out to my man Burning Spear. These brethren, if Dennis Brown seen Jay-Z with that head, Dennis Brown would have been like, yes, I am Bongo Naughty. They would have loved him. They would have loved him. You understand? I didn't know him. I just met him. You know what I'm saying? I was a vendor. You see buying a shirt from me. Y'all think I'm playing. You see if you look down on your left in the corner, you're gonna see the tip of the Bob Marley shirt. I got a table set out, gorilla pimping, gorilla hustling. I'm outside the Hollywood Palladium, I think. I'm outside the Hollywood Palladium at one of these big concerts events, getting it. I probably made $3,000 that night. I used to dress the brethren. The stuff I was selling was top notch. Right? It was top notch. So all of the fans wanted it. Everybody in the culture wanted it, but especially the musicians, because the musicians got to go on stage every night, right? So then I make them look good. I got the red, gold, and green guitar straps. I got the red, black, and green guitar straps. I got all the shirts. I got all the Haile Selassie shirts. I got all the Marcus Garvey shirts. I got all the trinkets. And then as a businessman, look how I'm looking. So I'm looking the epitome of how you want to look, right? I got the flyers jacket. I got the flyers hat. I got the flyers jewelry. I had my 2-finger ring say Rasta. You know what I'm saying? I got to look the part if I'm selling the stuff. So people look at me and say, this is the official Rasta, a Rasta booth right here. Official #1. You know what I mean? I'm the #1. I'm the #1. I don't got it on here because I'm working in the reggae record store. I worked in the reggae record store, but look at my shirt with the red, gold, green. That's probably Haile Selassie. You can see my badge under my head, the red, gold, and green. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, when you can't be disrespecting brethren with dreadlocks, brethren put their life on the line to wear their dreadlocks on their head. You know what I'm saying? Brethren put their life on the line for the culture. Put their life on the line for the culture. For y'all that's watching me, so you can really have respect and know. So you don't be like that. Don't make that mistake. Understand. Brethren lost their life for dreadlocks. Look up Coral Gardens. Look up Coral Gardens. They used to tie Rastas to the hair, to the back of the car, the police, and drag them down the street. And when you go somewhere, they say, "Get away, you stinking Rasta." So the brethren saying stuff, he don't know the culture. It's serious, y'all. My teacher, Ross Kojo Brown, why you think he up in the hills? Because if they catch him down in the city, they beat him till he's no longer alive. Couldn't even go visit his mother. They couldn't even go visit their mother. That's why Rasta started making belts and started making boards to learn how to make belts. And sisters started learning how to knit their own tams, and they had to do their own thing. And this is the brethren, one of the brethren that taught Bob Marley and Bunny and Peter how to play reggae. Because reggae was made off the Nyabingi drum. Toop, 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 toop. And then they put the reggae with it. These are people that taught, made Bob and them Rasta. This was their teachers. Bob, Bunny, Peter. This was their teacher. Ayabingi Kojo and Mortimer Plano. Okay? Mortimer Plano. I give you all the history. These are the people that birthed reggae. Bob and them was all shorties. My teacher, he was like second in command next to Mortimer Plano. You see Mortimer walking His Majesty out the plane? Because His Majesty synced all them rosters out there. See the brother right there to the left? Look how he looking at all them rosters. He ain't never seen nothing like that in his life. They came from Ethiopia. His Majesty came from Ethiopia, got to Jamaica, and they opened that plane and they synced them thousands of rosters. His Majesty went back in the plane. He couldn't believe that many people loved him that far away on that little island like that. More people loved him out there than in Ethiopia. So then they went and they went on the radio. They said, Mortimer Plano come. Mortimer was listening to it on the radio. And Mortimer said, man, he felt like his feet didn't touch the ground. He went down there. And then Mortimer Plano went in the plane and walked His Majesty out. And he was my teacher. They was one and number two. And my teacher right here, I went to L.A. because I met a brother here say his brother got dreadlocks. He stayed in Compton. So I went to stay with my friend from Chicago's brother that had dreadlocks in Compton. Then anybody know down Compton where the railroad tracks run, then you cross the tracks from that side and the bus take you downtown. We waiting for the bus to come take us downtown. A van drive by, go down two houses and park, and a Rasta man get out. And he walked down to us, and that's Kojo Brown. That's on the song. Ayabingi Kojo is coming over the hill, same time. And so he know everybody. So I'm just a youth man. He get out the van, come tell us to come to his house. We start staying at his house. He started telling me all the culture. I become top-ranking general. I'm a baby, but I'm high-ranking official. Black American. So now I'm way up there. The phone, he didn't have no phone. He had no electricity. The phone was next door. So every now and then people would call him, Kojo, phone call. He said, Ramesses, go get the phone for me. Find out what's going on. I would go get the phone. When I go over, I'd be like, hello? And they'd be like, hell is low, brethren. Okay. I had to, right? I'm constantly messing up. Hello? They're like, no, man, hell is low. Who this? I said, it's Ramesses. Kojo told me to come and answer the phone. He's like, this Peter Tosh. Tell Quadro I'll be there tomorrow night at 7. I'm like, Peter died. Boom. Next time phone call. Ramesses, go get the phone. I go get the phone. This Jimmy Cliff, this Michael Rose from Black Uhuru, this, I'm like, whoa. And then at night, we sitting there, we got counter, we telling me all the Rasta history. That's why Ja Bunny hit me up when he heard me talk about Kojo, because this is Ross Bunny's father, and Ross Bunny's father and Kojo's number 1, number 2. That's why I was tripping. Ja Bunny tried to come over here and sun me over here and tell me, don't do this and don't do that, when we same rank and file. He not my superior officer. I ain't really pissed at him no more like that, but Ja Bunny got to know you not my superior officer now. You know what I'm saying? You not my superior officer. Actually, you cut your dreads and went to prison. Actually, if it was rank, I'm ranked higher than you. JB, if you watching, I'm going to just let you know, you lost a lot of rank, okay? Because by hook or by crook, you see what it is. You know what I'm saying? You see what it is. You got these, Ja Bunny. If you ain't got these all these years, okay? And I lost blood and everything. I lost blood, had to pull my dreads off where they got thin, but my dreads be dragging the ground. If I didn't lose blood and they got thin and got back up, I just ripped them off. I got a bag full of dreads over there that go on the end of these dreads. I got a bag of dreads that would connect to this. I didn't cut them because we don't put no scissors or nothing on our head. You know what I'm saying? So you say, no, Bunny Wailer, no, we talking about Ja Bunny, we talking about Mortimer's son. You said Doggy Diamond had gastric surgery. Who said that? That's because he should have been eating right. And I don't wish nothing bad on the brother. Doggy had gastric bypass surgery. Yeah, he's eating all that junk. You know what I'm saying? I don't really hate him either. He probably just made a mistake. I might let that go too. But he can't be disrespecting dreadlocks like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving y'all a history while I'm talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So I end up living with this man. Him and this man really built reggae. You know what I'm saying? This the man right here wrote Sadamasa Ghana. There is a land far, far away. Mortimer wrote a lot of Bob Marley songs. Yeah, this man right here wrote some of Bob's early stuff. You understand? I'm giving y'all the real history while we over here. You know what I mean? So y'all don't think, oh, I'm just tripping. I'm not just tripping. But, you know, we went to war to have these dreadlocks. You know what I'm saying? And here go the thing. Here go the thing with me. You see, the brethren was coming from Jamaica, and they was coming up here with their dreadlocks, and they was getting people, you know, a little backlash. So they used to keep their hair up under like a tam and stuff. But they was Jamaicans, so they would stay mostly around Jamaicans, stuff like that. Now I had a Jerry curl. I went straight from a Jerry curl to dreadlocks. But I'm outside. I've been outside, Stu gambling. I'm basically born outside, from the bicycle to the park, smoking cigarettes, you know, rolling up the herb. You know what I'm saying? I'm really that. I'm really outside. Tailor-made suits and all this as a baby. So now when I start growing my dreadlocks, I'm not a Jamaican. So I'm not in the Jamaican scene. I go around the Jamaican scene, but I'm a Black American. So I'm in a Black American scene. So y'all tell me this. When I start growing my dreadlocks and I'm outside like a Black American, And I'm still on Black American stuff. What y'all think it was like? What y'all think it was like for a Black American in 1978 to have grow his hair like this and be in the hood, on the buses, a Black American? I'm not doing Jamaican stuff. I'm still doing Black American stuff. When nobody know what dreadlocks is. My mom and them think I went crazy. Y'all can't comprehend because y'all know what it is. But in 1978, they didn't know what that was. As a matter of fact, I started growing my dreads before I even knew anything about Rasta, because I started growing my dreads as an Egyptian with my teacher, Peter. I had dreadlocks already before I met Jamaican Rastas. On my soul, I was Egyptian spaceman. And so imagine me, I'm Stu Gambling, I got dice, I'm all over the city shooting dice, I'm tailor-made clothes, Converses and Dickies, you know what I'm saying? I'm really that. Then I grow dreadlocks, but I'm really that. But I got dreadlocks. I done took all that stuff off, but I used to wear tailor-made clothes and stuff like that. I was really him. So imagine if you came up to me talking about my dreads, but I looked at you when you wasn't even on the level I was before I took my dreadlocks. That's why I was so powerful. Because the brothers that was trying to diss me wasn't dressing as good as I was dressed before I got the dreadlocks. So you're a buster. So imagine what it was when somebody was a buster. Last year when I was out here with these tailor-made suits on with Stu Gamblers out here, you wouldn't have ever said nothing to me. But now all of a sudden I got the dreadlocks, you trying to say something. But I ain't fixed yet. I'm still Stu Gambler. I'm trying to be righteous, but I'm still the boys in the hood is always hard. Come talking that trash. I'm still like, what? That song wasn't even out yet. I had Jerry Curl way before Easy E and them came out. So that's why I was so powerful. Because when the brother would say, man, look at your hair, I'd be like, man, where you get that suit from? I'm off the rack. Your stuff ain't tailor-made. Yeah, I wouldn't even wear that when I was you. I wouldn't even wear that. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be beating dudes up. I could fight. Don't let the hair fool you. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. You got me messed up. I'm still him. Because I had to protect some of the elders. My elder, Peter, was older than me. So we get on the bus. Brothers would try to start talking crazy to him, but I was still a little rough around the edge. So I'd be like, shut up, talking to him like that, for do you dirty, like that. Because I wasn't fixed yet. I don't think I ever got fixed, did I? So I didn't get fixed. I didn't get fixed. I didn't get consciously. It took, I was still a little niggery. I was, I didn't match my dreads. I didn't really match positive Black consciousness. I was trying, but they just would leave me alone. I wasn't trying to hear it because you looking at my hair, but I'm looking at you, and you were punk. You was a punk before I had dreads, and you're a punk now. Because brothers would think because I got dreads, that means something. They talk crazy to me, but they looking at me, not understanding me, but I'm coming from where they at. I'm looking at them and saying, oh, you a bust. I'm still on them. You know what I'm saying? I don't cry now. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't fixed. You know what I'm saying? I never got fixed. I was getting fixed, and then I got stabbed. I was just... I was worse. I was getting fixed. Well, not. I was getting fixed. I was trying, y'all. I tried to get fixed. That's what my book is about. I tried to get fixed, but then I got stabbed. And when I got stabbed, I kind of turned to this one. And it's probably 3 in the morning. Ain't nobody in this picture you don't want to see nobody in this picture. You know what I'm saying? Trust me what I'm telling you. You don't want to see nobody in this picture, even still today. You know what I'm saying? So I went from this one. See, look at the smile, look at the positivity, to this one. Still fly, you know, minor changes, you know. Went from the beautiful red, gold, and green hat to the Kango. A whole lot more jewelry. Things under the jacket. Which hat you talking about? This hat's like this. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. I tried to hold on to myself as best as I could. But yeah, I'm just explaining to y'all the whole deal, the reason why that stuff was so disrespectful. It was very disrespectful to all my elders and stuff like that, because you got to understand, as a Black American that was checking for Africa, that was like a comedic brother like that, the Jamaican brethren, they took me in like I was family. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I was like family. You know what I'm saying? I was a part of the culture, and it was a beautiful bond, because with the Jamaican brothers in Chicago, they was able to assist me in coming into the roots and culture, and I was able to escort them through the city of Chicago. See what I'm saying? So anytime I be with the brethren, the Rastas from Trinidad or the Rastas from Jamaica, they felt 1,000,000,000% safe, because anytime we would run into maybe some gang members or something like that, I would step in. And when I would step in and be like, "What's up, y'all?" They'd be like, "Oh, dang, man, you got dreadlocks. Where you from? You from Chicago? Oh, man. How you get your hair like that?" So I was like you know what I'm saying? The liaison for the brethren from the island. They've been safe in Chicago with me. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm born and raised here. So I got a whole tribe full of goonie goons. You know what I'm saying? I got goons already. I got goons. So yeah, I'm a Kenneton. Yeah, I'm Ramesses, but I'm Stu Gambling though. Stu Gambling still is Stu Gambling. I grew up here. So I got Goonie Goons from baby, from 4 or 5 years old. And I'm a hero. I'm a hero back in the hood. They're like, "Stu got them dreads, man. Stu doing it, man." Man, Stu in Hawaii, man. So I was like a folklore to the regular Black Americans. So it was good, it was they didn't have to worry about nothing. All the Jamaican brethren, I used to be with Josh Stone and all of them, they didn't really have to worry. Same thing in LA. When I was in LA, we used to want to go get herb. And they had a house, and back in the back it had a shack, and they would sell the herb from the back in the shack. And me and Gold to Farai, let me give Gold some props. Gold, really, I was over there with Gold. And Gold used to go over there and get herb, right? So Gold used to go over where all these Caribbean brothers was at. They was from almost every island, and they had a spot, and they would take turns and hustle. So my brethren Gold would go over there to get herb. I was with Gold, so I never would have been in that community. This was over in Tukey neighborhood. Since my brethren Gold to Fire, he from the Virgin Islands. So Gold would go over there and get herb. I tell you a little bit, this is going to be in my book. So when Gold used to go over there and get herb, right? When Gold get herb, I would be over there. So me having dreadlocks and being a Black American, and they selling in a Crip neighborhood, they selling to all Black Americans. They was like, Ramesses, work for me, man. So I started working for one of the brothers, selling herb in the hood in South Central and Tukey neighborhood. And it was cool because when the Black Americans would come, when I was there and knock on the thing, I say, what up? They're like, who that? I say, it's me, nigga. They say, me who? Me, motherfucker. I was like, all right, man, give me 2 of them. So business went really good because the hood knew one of the homeboys was in there. Plus, I was plugged with the 2 brothers that ran all the Crips over there. So they all wanted me to work for them. Now, you said, what changed? Why did Jamaicans seem distant today? Because I wasn't around Jamaicans. I was around Rastas. All Jamaicans ain't Rasta. Rasta never called themselves Jamaicans. Rastas call themselves Ethiopians. Rasta have a pan-African concept. They don't have an island concept. That's why. Rasta wasn't never messing with regular people. Rasta was never messing with regular nobody. Rasta was around Rasta because nobody liked Rasta. Nobody liked our hair. Everybody tried to play us like weirdos. This brother here, he from St. Croix. My brethren from St. Croix, they from Trinidad. They from the Virgin Islands. Was I the first person in the shot with dreads? No, my teacher had dreads already. It was brothers had dreads because I seen brothers with dreads. Not a lot. I seen brothers with dreads, and I seen the brother at the beach while I was standing next to my teacher. The brother became my teacher that I knew from music college. And I asked him, I said, how you get his hair like that? He said, I got man like that. I said, are you kidding? He's like, no, I got man like that. So even my teacher had dreads. The Egyptian brothers had dreads. I didn't see a lot of dreads with the Jamaicans because they used to wear the apple caps. I never paid no attention. But when I got around the Rastas, I said, oh, y'all been walking past me all the time, but y'all got y'all hair up in them tams and them apple caps. So you never knew they had dreads. Why did Rasta start wearing turbans? That's 12 Tribe of Israel did start doing that. What's the name started doing that? The Bobo Shanti. That's not Rasta. That's the Bobo Shanti group. It's different groups of Rasta. So those are Bobo Shanti. The Bobo Shanti wear head wraps. Yeah, that's the Bobo Shanti. Because you got 12 Tribe of Israel, you got Bobo Shanti, you got all that. You got different types of Rasta. So that's the Bobo Shanti. With the head wrap. But yeah, it was rough for Rasta. You know what I'm saying? It was bad. If you know the history. A lot of people lost their life just because they grew dreadlocks. The police used to hunt them. Police used to hunt Rasta. You know what I'm saying? Police used to hunt Rastas. But I started growing my dreads as an Egyptian. I didn't start growing my dreads as a Rasta. You know what I'm saying? I started growing my dreads as a comedic spaceman. This is what they used to say. See, that's why, see, Doggy Diamond don't know the history. Just for brothers and sisters, just because they wore their dreadlocks, this how they would treat them. Just for their hair. They ain't doing nothing to nobody. This is what they would do to Rastas. You understand? So that's why you see, that's why I got so angry. Because, people was, Doggy Diamonds was speaking on something. And he don't know the history on what he's speaking on. This all happened for me and Jay-Z to have our dreadlocks. People lost their lives for you to wear dreadlocks. This is a fact. People suffered. People went without jobs. People couldn't feed their families to grow dreadlocks. People like me. Nobody wanted to hire me with dreadlocks. I got hired, then I started growing my dreadlocks so they couldn't fire me. But if I would have walked in there with dreadlocks, I never would have got the job. These are things people don't know about the culture, about everything we went through. I went through a lot to keep this hair on my head. It wasn't easy, okay? They didn't start accepting us until they could make a lot of money off the music. And once they could make a lot of money off the music, then they can accept us. What about cornrows? Cornrows, everybody had French braids and cornrows. Nobody paid no attention to that. Cornrows wasn't like no hairstyle. Cornrows was something to maintain your hair. Cornrows was something women did to put their wig on top of it. What year was what? This show right here with Bunny Wailer, or what year was what? When I went to the county jail later, when I went to county jail in 97, the only people they knew that had dreadlocks was Lil Wayne and then 2 Chainz for Black Americans. Now in California, they was big on Bob Marley, but they wasn't big on Bob Marley in Chicago. The first person that encouraged these shorties in Chicago dread was Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is like they Bob Marley. But in Chicago to actually see somebody with dreads, I'm like one of the first ones. I got to be in like the first 5. But I would say I'm number 1 because the other ones wasn't outside like me. As far as being outside, yeah, I'm the only one. Like in the county jail, my whole deck, it's like 100 dudes on the deck. I was the only one that had dreadlocks in 97 on my deck. I was the only one I seen in the whole jail with dreads when I think about it. When I would go to rec and go and be in the hallway passing, I didn't see nobody else with dreadlocks but me in the whole county jail. For real. I'm probably the first 4-corner hustler dreadlock. I'm probably the first four. Oh, so I'm probably the first four corner hustler. Dreadlock. Because I don't know none of the folks had dreads. I don't know. I knew my boy was GD. He had some dreads. But I don't know nobody. I ain't know no Vice Lords or no foes that had no dreads. No Black Stones either, I don't think. So I was locked up 4 months with a whole bunch of people in and out the county jail on a deck with gotta be maybe not 100, gotta be 80. Let me see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 18, 20, 24, 26. That's 52. Now it's probably like 60. 60 on the deck. Anywhere from 50 something to 60. If they got 3 in the cell, it's supposed to be 2, but it'd be overcrowded. So like 60 dudes locked up. I was the only one with dreads. But I wasn't in there. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in there. I wasn't in there for no nice boy stuff. So you get your respect based on what you're being charged with. And what I was being charged with automatically say, uh, uh, don't play with him. I wasn't looking at 8 to 40 because I was a Boy Scout. I mean, people had them on TV, but you got to understand, y'all not listening to what I'm saying. When people had them on TV, they didn't influence nobody. Because when people had them on TV, you already had a conscious Rasta culture. That's the 80s, the early 90s. By the time you get to the 90s, that's a whole nother group that grew up. So that all them people, Bushwick and all them, they grown. So the streets now is shorties. They don't know nothing about them. All they know is Lil Wayne. So that next group is Lil Wayne, 2 Chainz, like that. I'm talking about that group. the people that was listening to that rap, they older. They either in the penitentiary or they got job stuff. They ain't in the county jail. They ain't outside gang banging like that. They too old. But the ones outside, that's the Lil Wayne group. I'm giving y'all a game. They don't know nothing about them older rappers. Them older rappers start growing their dreads behind me. Them my little kids. KRS-One, Lord Jamar. I birthed them. I birthed Lord Jamar and KRS-One. Them our children. They was following the culture we put on the streets. They was wearing the stuff we was putting out on the streets. I was selling them clothes. But that's it. I went longer than I thought I was gonna go. I just wanted to, really reflect on the brother. When I found out they were saying this brother was like me, and I kept saying, I know that name somewhere. And I looked it up, and it's the brother, that we was kind of like at odds because of him and Doggy Diamond saying that crazy stuff about Jay-Z's head. But I ain't tripping with the brother no more. He cool. He was working with Doggy Diamonds, and he was standing with his man. That's cool. With Doggy Diamonds, that's another subject. He was the main one talking all out the side of his neck. I don't really mess with dude. It's just something. But I used to watch him. I used to watch Doggy Diamonds, but one thing, he was gossiping too much, man. When you get to the point where you hating on rappers and stuff, that's when I gotta go. If you're gonna talk about something cultural, something cool, but when you get to hating on rappers or hating on athletes or hating on content creators or anything, that's why I gotta step out. Because I'm just not with that. You know, when I see brothers criticizing rap, right, they probably did because he working by himself now. When me and him got into it, they were still working together. And they had called, and Doggy Diamonds had called Jay-Z head a mop. So they probably did fall out because the brother got more class. You know what I'm saying? And it probably wasn't his fault that he was trying to holler at me because with him and Doggy Diamonds up there, I know I was probably trashing both of them. So I'm going to go on the brother's page and say, hey, man, everything cool between me and you like that. You know, that was basically Doggy Diamonds, and you was just standing in there. You straight. I'm going to let him know you straight. And tell him I wish him luck and, you know, keep doing your thing. You know what I mean? I probably interview the brother. That's what I probably do because he know a lot about hip-hop. I probably interview him. You know what I mean? But, you know, it was him and Doggy Diamonds. And, you know, you disrespecting dreadlocks and stuff. Boy, we been had these dreadlocks and stuff. You done stepped in some boo-boo. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't have called the brother's head a mop. That's what I don't like about Doggy Diamonds. If, you know, why are you trying to call Jay-Z names and all that? See, this is what I'm saying. If you got something you're trying to say about the brother, say it. But all that, he got to get that mop off his head. Okay, now you sound like a Babylon. Now you sounding like, okay, so what? You like the haircut. You know, you sounding like a Babylon. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us, we got dreadlocks. I try to be careful not to be going too hard on brothers that ain't got them. You know, I try not to go too hard and say, man, y'all going getting y'all haircut like slaves and stuff. I be thinking that is something, but I don't really want to put it on the brothers because they don't know that's what it is. Society did that. So for him to just start talking about call the man hair a mop, now he disrespecting a whole lot of other brothers. It's like a lot of times I'll be trying to be careful. Let me give you an example. It's like, say I see a sister. I got to kind of be careful because if I say, oh, she too fat. Now, let's say she weigh 290, 310. All right, I'm tripping with the sister, but I just disrespected all the sisters that's got weight on them. And I ain't really with that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to be careful. Like you'll do that and you don't really mean no harm, but you dissing this person, but what you said is hurting other people. So you kind of got to be careful with that. Anybody could do it. I could do it too. Because you don't be thinking. But you try to be as conscious as you can to be like, you know what? Man, I can't be saying this stuff like that. So that's why I don't be talking about being fat unless I'm talking about in terms of trying to encourage you to lose weight. I feel like if I'm saying it in a way to try to get you to be more healthy, I feel it's good.